This is the plaintiff, Arthur William Brown Jr. He says he was attending a funeral, and he and the defendant had some words, and the guy threw a hissy fit and tossed an orange cone at his car as he drove off. His Cadillac's now dented. The guy can't be allowed to just lose his temper and throw things at people's cars, and he's here suing him for the $1,264.68 he's now owed. This is the defendant, Michael Evans. He says his 27-year-old daughter tragically passed away, and there were allegations the plaintiff's brother abused her as a child. This guy has the unmitigated gall to show up at her funeral. He lost his temper with him outside and accidentally lost his grip on an orange traffic cone and cut his hand. He didn't toss it at the plaintiff's car. He certainly didn't hit or damage the plaintiff's car and doesn't owe him any money. He's accused of losing it.
All parties, please raise your right hands. People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milios now presiding. Is that a new one?
Yes, it is.
I like that color.
It's a copper. Yeah.
Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
It is good. It comes now in all the metals.
I like that.
Thank you, Douglas. All right, Mr. Brown, you are suing Mr. Evans for $1,264.68 in damages to your vehicle that you say you sustained thanks to him. Tell me what happened.
Yes, on Friday, December the 10th, 2021, I attended a funeral service of Jasmine Martin. She was like a niece to me. Like around 12:30 p.m., my brother Anthony Miller walked to the back of the church where I was sitting, and he leaned over, he came over to me, and this is his words. He said, "Jasmine's father does not want me here." So,
okay, is he the stepfather to Jasmine?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor. Yes,
okay,
Your Honor.
And Jasmine was how old when she passed?
I believe she was somewhere around...
Mr. Evans?
28.
28? Okay. What was the cause of her passing, Mr. Evans?
Lupus.
I'm so sorry to hear that. All right, so go on, Mr. Brown.
Yes, so right then after that, Mr. Evans walked over to my brother and told him to step outside. So I got up and walked out the church with Anthony. And when I went out, a few words were said. So
what was said?
I told my brother, actually he had confronted my brother for something. He had confronted him.
And what did he confront him about?
He mentioned something about his daughter. But I really wasn't really much paying attention. I just told my brother, let me take you to my home, to my house so I can diffuse the situation. My brother and I walked across the street, got in my vehicle, and I drove across Avalon and Lancet. As I was going down, I heard some people shouting, "Don't do that, don't do that." So I looked at my rear view mirror and I saw Jasmine's father throw something at the back of my truck. And then when he hit the back of my vehicle, I kind of stopped a little bit, but he hit the back of my vehicle. And then he picked up something orange. It looked like a cone, like an orange cone. And he just threw it at the back of my truck. So when he did that, I just kept going because I didn't want no confrontation out this gentleman. So I kept going home. And when we got to my house, my brother got out my vehicle and he walked around and he saw the dent on the passenger side. He was above the gas tank. And then he looked in the back and saw another dent and above the Cadillac symbol.
And are those the only two dents on the car?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What brand of car is this that you drive? What model?
It's a SRX 2013 Cadillac.
All right. So where am I supposed to be looking in this picture?
See this one right there?
Not this one.
The back.
All right.
That one.
Ooh.
Yes.
Okay. Did you call the police?
On the 14th of December, I went to the police station on 108th and Main, and I to try to get a report.
Yep.
But the officer told me I had to go online.
Okay.
To do the report. So
that's fine. Mr. Evans, let me hear from you. What is it that happened here?
Okay, we're having a service at my daughter's funeral. I see the plaintiff's brother walk in. I got up I walked over to him, asking, I need to speak to you outside. We go outside. I asked him, hey, there's allegations of you touching on my daughter. What's going on?
That he what?
There's allegations of him following with my daughter.
Sexually assaulting?
Yes.
So he goes, oh, wait, hold on, Michael, this and that.
He puts his arms around me on my sides and say, hold on, Michael, wait a minute. That's when Arthur comes and walk up behind him, and he starts grabbing on me too. So I'm backing up. I'm in the street now. Hey, you guys, get your hands off of me. You don't know me. Don't put your hands on me. This guy needs to leave. I don't want him here at my daughter's funeral. There's things going on right now.
That's when they walk across the street and get in the car. As they were coming back across the street, passing me by behind me, his brother says something to me. That's when I grabbed the cone.
His brother says something to you from the car?
Yes.
So was the window rolled down? Was the window down?
The window was down, and he was sticking his head out the window.
And how far were you from him when he says something to you?
Well, when he was saying that my back was turned, I was walking out of the street. So maybe about 4 feet, 5 feet behind me.
In the car?
Yes. That's when I seen the car. I grabbed the cone. I couldn't even pick it up off of the ground because it slid right out of my hand. I picked
what'd
it
you
up
grab
with
the
my
cone
left
for?
hand.
I was finna hit the guy in his head with it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, because I'm not comfortable for him being at my daughter's funeral.
And I understand that, but
he's
so
saying
you
something
hurl
to
it
me,
and it damages another guy's car, and he wants you to pay for the damage.
It didn't even fly out of it dropped. I couldn't even get a grip on it in my left hand because I had no strength in my thumb. I couldn't hold it. There were about 15 to 20 other people out there. So as far as somebody else picking up something and trying to throw it at his car, I have no idea. But I could not have done that damage to his car. It's impossible.
Okay, well, let's see what grabbing the cone to throw it at him did to your finger.
That didn't do that to my finger.
What
I
did that
damaged my
to your finger?
Well, I work with wood. I cut my finger prior to this.
Oh.
Before this happened, yes.
Okay, which hand is this, your left hand or your right hand?
That's my left hand.
Okay, are you right-handed or left-handed?
I'm right-handed.
Oh, so what's your throwing hand? Your right hand or your
left hand?
Well, right hand or your
My
left
right
hand?
hand.
What'd you pick the cone up for? You picked up the cone to throw it at the car, because the guy's not walking. You're
Ma'am.
not throwing it at him. You're throwing it at the car.
I was throwing it at the guy that was in the car, but I couldn't even pick the cone up. It fell right out of my hand.
Okay, Mr. Brown, is your brother
Yes,
here
Your
to
Honor.
testify?
No, Your Honor, he's not here, Your Honor. You can call him, I believe. Your Honor, can I say something, please?
Yeah.
If it's okay?
Yeah.
I don't really have anything against this gentleman because I don't really know him. I just know his daughter, okay? I really never seen him in my life. And I just want him to take care of my vehicle because I think that was unnecessary what he did. I never heard anything about him. I never knew him until that day. I'm still kind of grieving over her because I lost a niece, and
Yeah.
it was just
That's not
sad,
your
you know what I'm
niece.
saying?
Mr. Evans, you're not really in a position to say that. She may not be his biological niece, but, she grew up as his niece, which is, it's a good thing that there's many people who loved her and who miss her. Do either of you have any witnesses you want me to hear from?
I have a witness.
Let me hear from your witness.
Right here. Come on.
Okay, could you raise your right hand, please?
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes.
Thank you.
Were you out there that day?
Yes.
Why were you outside instead of inside at the service?
I went outside with Michael.
Okay, because
He's
you
my
knew
best.
right, so you knew he was going to confront Mr. Brown's brother
Yes.
and ask him to leave. All right, so after he asked him to leave, what role did Mr. Arthur Brown, the gentleman I have in court, who is the owner of the car, what, if anything, was he doing out there?
When he came out there, I guess he came to slow down everything, to kind of calm down the situation, right?
Okay, so he tells his brother, let's go to defuse the situation. He gets him in the car, starts driving away, and what happens?
Well, they came across the street on the side where we were. I mean, they could have made a left, they could have made a right, but they came across there. Now, I don't know exactly what was said, but something was said. He came across the street. He stopped his vehicle. For what purpose, I don't know. But something was said out the window, and it made things worse. I guess you could think things got more escalated. I guess it was a bunch of people still in the street.
Yeah. How many people were in the street?
I mean, I can't give you an exact number.
No, but roughly, are we talking about 20 or 100?
No, not 100. We'll say 20, 15, something like that.
All right. So then he grabs a cone and what?
When Michael grabs the cone, he tries to throw it, but it never made it. But that doesn't mean somebody else didn't throw anything.
Well, I'm asking you. Who did you see throw something?
I can't tell you. I was closest to his vehicle, so everybody was behind me. When I turned, that's when I seen Michael grabbing the cone. He went down to grab the cone, and the cone it didn't even make it close to his car.
So he went down to can you show me again how he went down to grab the cone?
Okay. Michael was facing this way in the street.
Okay.
So he went to grab the cone. He tried to throw the cone, but it didn't make it. First of all, the dent he showed was on the right side of his car. Michael.
Go ahead and sit. Oh. First time he uses right hand, second time he uses left hand. All right, go ahead.
Thought about it.
Okay.
Do you know which hand he used?
But Michael, I would say it was his left hand because of the way he was facing.
Okay.
He was facing forward towards the street.
All right, and you're saying that it didn't hit the car, but there's dents on the car.
I understand that there's dents on the car, but it did that cone that he tried to throw did not hit the car.
Okay, what did hit? Did you see something else hit the car, yes or no?
I mean, I seen something flying, but it wouldn't come from him.
What did you see flying?
Might have been a cone, it might have been a bottle, but it did not come from Michael.
Who did it come from?
Other people out there. I don't know all the people that was out there, but it came from that direction.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Can you tell me if anybody else threw anything?
Ma'am, I was so frustrated and trying to get back into the church to finish my daughter's service. After they pulled off and went, I walked right on back inside of the church.
So, Mr. Brown, answer what was explained that your car came back to. What is he saying that your car came back and then stopped and then your brother said something to him?
Your Honor, when I went across the street, right, I wasn't going no more than like 5 miles, maybe a little lesser than that, because I didn't think anything was about to happen. Now, my brother was sitting in the front seat of the car with me, so I really didn't know what was going on with the gentleman because I'm thinking he might have saw my brother in the front seat. That's probably one of the reasons why he might have done what he did. But like I said, I don't.
Did your brother say something to him? I'm just curious.
No, me and my brother was talking, Your Honor. We was talking.
Your brother didn't jaw at him out the window?
No, Your Honor. He didn't do any of it. No, Your Honor. He did not. We didn't do anything to this gentleman. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, he begs to differ on whether anything was done to him. He has some very specific reasons for not wanting, which I don't know if they're true or not. I have no idea if they're just baseless allegations, if they're rumors, if they're true. But I tend to agree with the premise of your statement, which is that's not a legal justification. But, you know, if you're asking me, we didn't do anything to cause that, I don't know whether your brother did or didn't. It's just that that's not a legal response to being jawed at or to having words with somebody. So, you know, Mr. Evans, this isn't a criminal case where the proof is beyond and to the exclusion of every reasonable doubt. This is a civil case where it's by a preponderance of the evidence. I got to tell you, the one guy I got in front of me who grabbed the cone to throw it at the car, and the guy who's the angriest, and the guy who just threw the guy in the car out, and the guy who says that then the guy jawed at him, you know, that's you. So your friend's a good friend and stuff, but I'm kind of not buying it. There's no point in picking it up unless you're going to hurl it at them. $1,264.68, verdict for the plaintiff. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So the judge is convinced the plaintiff does deserve to prevail. Mr. Evans, she thinks you must have done something to hit that car. So she found against you. What are you thinking?
I think it's a bunch of crap.
I'm not surprised you feel that way, but bottom line is, what can I tell you? The judge is just convinced you're guilty of it.
I have no use in my thumb. I can't even bend it. How was I able to grab it and get a grip of the cone to throw it? Impossible.
All right. Well, that's what you say, but obviously the judge's decision is final. So, Mr. Brown, you prevailed. How do you feel about the outcome? Obviously, you feel better now, right?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to just get this, put this behind me. Like I said, it was something that shouldn't have never happened. So I thank the courts for what they did, and I thank the judge for her ruling. Like I said, we just lost a loved one, man. And I'm truly gonna miss her. She was a beautiful young lady. So thank you so much for everything.
Well, now you can get your car repaired. Okay, get that dent taken out. All right, Harvey. Very interesting case. What do you think?
So, I mean, look, Doug, this is a case where it's burden of proof. It is preponderance of evidence. The plaintiff merely needed to tip the scales like 51-49, and the judge said that he did.
Excluding food, what 3 things would you take on a deserted island?
Does beer count as food?
It's nutritious and delicious.
Yes. Right? So, there's a couple ways to look at that. One is, what are the 3 things that you're going to help you survive, right? And the other is, what's going to make you comfortable? I figure we're both dead if we're on a desert island, right? So let's make it comfortable. So I want the beer ice cold, some sunblock, and some bug spray. How's that?
Okay. You're probably right about that. I'm going to assume we're going to survive this.
Okay.
So I'm going to want a flare gun, internet service, and a telephone.
No fair. Come on.
So we can contact someone and get us off of the island.
All right. Well, or bring us more beer.
Or bring us more beer. That's the important thing.